And he said, don't worry about me.
I have a bunch of. You want one gavel or two?
I want it perfectly.
I have a
I have a lot
All
of
right,
those.
here we go.
So,
Been
that's
there
a
for
good
100
question.
years.
Call the meeting to
I would
order.
say yes.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance, which is right here.
Oh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
Recording in
stands,
progress.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Declaration of potential conflict of interest, Kyle.
None.
Sue.
No.
Celeste. Mike.
No.
None. Public comment. Anyone online, anyone?
Anyone online? Let's see anyone here, unless one of our wonderful staff that are attending would like to offer public comment. Just double check. There's nobody online
Okay.
in Zoom.
Correspondence. We had two pieces. There's a letter from a citizen, a concerned citizen, and then letters to Senators Merkley and Wyden included. You want to add anything on those?
I think they're fairly self-explanatory. The hope to encourage our state senators to pass a bill that would recognize special districts, that would provide us with some access to grant funds and some other status that we don't necessarily have. So I think it's be a good thing. There was a similar bill that passed the House in March, and so yeah, this is the version of that for the U.S. Senate.
Okay. Do you want to discuss the letter?
I mean,
No, the anonymous
The concern.
concern.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I don't understand, it's not signed, and so, it's dated for June 18th. We did this decision about Skylar, over a year ago. It's interesting timing to me that this comes now. More concerning to me is that the inaccuracies in here, and I'm not gonna delve into that at this point, but this form with the salary of a single person, there's not a date on it. I went to a resource that the information is different than what is written here. So without knowing who sent this, I don't know how to say respectfully, this information is incorrect.
Yeah.
And it's inaccurate, and therefore, you know, and the fact that it's been in place for just shy of a year, I am concerned. And I wouldn't mind if someone wants to talk to me personally about this. I will address the detail, but I think it's important that if somebody is not gonna sign it, then we need to make sure that other letters that come in to us that aren't signed are addressed to the board as well. So I have a lot of issues with this form.
Well, I'm just like staring at you through the flags.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a couple things I'd like to say is, one is, I think the board does not supervise the compensation of all staff. Our sole employee that the board supervises is the executive director. I think a couple things to consider. I recall as part of our deliberations around that is that the job description has actually changed, and we have new expectations of the executive director. And when a job changes, that we look at, in other words, it's not a percent increase situation or a COLA, that you have to make the pay scale commensurate with what the job description is. So that's one piece I will ask. However, I do think there is merit in talking about what a living wage is and what we pay our staff, and I think that we covered that in some of our goals for the EDU2, that we need a process at the district to make sure that our district employees are receiving the wages that they deserve. And I would like it to be that we're above market for our staff. You know, I'd like to see us get there and figure out a pathway to that. So I think there is some merit, but I don't think linking staff, you know, the two things does not quite match up to me.
Did you have something to say, Sam?
Just ever so briefly, first, I'd just like whoever wrote this, thank you. Thanks for for bringing this stuff to our attention, letting us know what the whisperings are out there. Appreciate that. I think like Celeste said, it's important to understand how we determine wages. It's not about looking at a living wage everywhere in the state to determine what we pay our people here in Seaside. So, yeah, I appreciate the information. I think the more we get information like this, I think the better it is. And if the person wants to talk more about it, hey, help us out. Tell us your thoughts. That's it.
Great. Thanks, Hal. Recognition of the SEPRD Employee of the Month. Oh, yes.
Well, Kyle brought up a question.
On the letters to Berkeley and Wyden, would it be beneficial for board members to call their offices directly? I've worked with both in the past, and I'd be happy to, they know me, I'd be happy to call and.
Yeah, absolutely. About a year ago, the board designated Celeste to
Oh,
be
then select.
the board rep, but I
More
doesn't mean that
letter, more
she,
citizens, the
doesn't mean
better.
that she is the only one. I am, I think, in terms of like our legislative affairs, it's nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of, and we've done that some in the past. With this letter, because the board had already expressed approval for the earlier letter, but I think that the personal touch is really important. I don't know.
It matters
Yeah.
to
Yeah, for sure.
legislators. So, okay, I'll make a couple calls.
Well, if he knows them, do you want,
I'm not saying that Kyle shouldn't do it, I'm saying.
no, but if he knows them, he can call, but do
Yeah.
you want us to reach out in a professional manner or just Celeste?
Yeah, no, I think the more the merrier. honestly.
Because I'm glad to write
As
letters.
citizens, as,
Yeah.
board members, I mean, I think what I appreciate about this, action, if it goes through, is that it's gonna recognize and give access to all types of districts, which you guys.
Do you have a copy of the legislation?
Yeah.
If
I
you
can
could
get
just
it.
email that
Yeah.
to me,
And-
that'd be nice.
If I can clarify, we shouldn't individually write it as board members, right? That should be a collective action.
That should be something
that the
that's
whole
what I'm
board
saying,
would
should
do.
kind of funnel through, so
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
But individually-
if you want me to make a call and,
Yeah.
and I'll be happy to, and if you don't, if you want the board to do that as a
No.
board, that's fine too.
I think it's a both and. I think
Oh,
individuals
okay.
should call and you can say you are a board member, but if we represent the whole board, then I think the whole board needs
Right.
visibility,
Right.
yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
you're saying the board should write a letter consistent with what Skylar's already written?
Or does Kyle write a letter since he knows them?
I think it's better to call them if you.
Yeah,
if you can
I think
actually
so.
talk
I
to
think
somebody.
individual action at this point, because
It
we've already
makes it
written it on
personal.
our,
Yeah.
we've already written it on our letterhead.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make it personal for them.
Okay, now it's Carolyn's turn. Moving on. Recognition of the SEPRD Employee of the Month, Carolyn Heyman. Yay. Coach Carolyn has been a shining star in our team for the past 3 years. Her dedication and exceptional skills in teaching swimming have touched countless lives. Carolyn's unique and innovative approach to coaching not only empowers her students in the water, but also inspires them to push beyond their limits. Her commitment to excellence is evident in her constant pursuit to expand her offerings, ensuring that every swimmer receives personalized guidance and achieves their goals with confidence. Carolyn's passion for teaching and her unwavering support for her students make her not just a coach, but a mentor and a role model. Cheers to Coach Carolyn, a true gem whose dedication and creativity continue to elevate our swimming program to new heights. And we have a fabulously signed certificate and looks like an Amazon gift card for you. So congratulations, Carolyn. Thank you so much.
So how many went to zones this year?
Oh,
Oh, boy, do I look so.
5.
5 zones?
They just announced. Yeah,
That's
my,
awesome.
5 of the swimmers under my instruction made it to the 17th Oregon.
wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So glad you're here.
Yes, thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Approval of board meeting minutes from June 25th. Did anyone find errors for Skylar and Faye?
I had looked them over previously, and I
And
couldn't
see.
really find any material. Just but there might be.
And I wasn't there, so I can't comment on the comment, the content. Would anybody like to motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor, signify by aye, opposed nay. Kyle?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye. Fantastic.
Can you pass these actually just to
Yep.
for signature on the
Can
back?
you give that to Celeste?
Thanks.
Review of the financials from June of '24.
Just the same questions I always have, we're in for a soft landing.
Yeah,
Tell me
we're okay,
that.
Chris is here, I think we're,
Yeah, it looks like,
I mean, there's still,
should be pretty much done at this, by this
yeah,
point.
no, I mean, like, in terms of, moving forward till we get our tax revenue, I think we're still in a similar position, but I'm feeling like we're pretty confident we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We've made some adjustments, Chris has done really well at helping us kind of remember, the season that we're in right now and be mindful of things, purchases, and, yeah, I think we ended the year in pretty good financial shape, all things considered.
So then we delay capital purchases until after the taxes come in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's what we typically try to do unless it's something drastic that,
Right,
that we couldn't help it. Yeah.
We need a motion.
We need a motion.
I move that we approve financials, the June financials.
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye, opposed nay. Kyle?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Yes.
Aye. Old business, goals for 2024, Bonner and Gorman. Spotlight.
Hold on.
Their names are on here as a placeholder, they led the discussion last month, it doesn't mean that they're the ones that, have to, but I appreciate it.
It was just after the minutes or something?
Yes, but it's only one page, so it's easy.
Oh, that's fine, okay.
And I actually looked over the minutes because I was like, there's something else we were supposed to do on this, and because I did not have recollection that we were doing something else. I think this is for the rest of the board to consider if we are okay with
Goals?
these goals and objectives. Keeping in mind that key results don't mean that they are the only key results that Skylar and the team will accomplish, but these are key results that we would look for as indicators that we're meeting our objectives. And I think the other piece that we talked about, Skylar, we did talk about like, a little bit that one of the pieces that was nice about sort of the task list, which is really what previously we had, is you can kind of check it off and say, and this requires a little bit more analysis, right? And that would be a piece where we can, as board members, can provide assistance to these thought partners with Skylar, but that really we're putting the ball in Skylar's court to determine the task to meet these objectives.
And yeah, I think the issue is in the chief officer position, CEO position, the rules about how you do your job are squishy. You know, there's no direct path, you know, do A, then do B, then complete C, and you'll be done. It's more, it's softer and fuzzier, and it requires more nuance. And I think those are the sort of competencies we want to elicit in Skylar, you know, to do more nuanced, management, administration of the organization. You know, an entry-level employee or lower-level employee, you might have a checklist of things they must complete by a certain time, but when you get into the role that Skylar's in, it's much more organic, and
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what we're asking him to be, more organic.
I think these are great. Skylar, your thoughts?
Yeah, we had a good discussion, and I was thankful for Celeste and Kyle. We met before the June meeting to talk about them. I want to share that we've internally, I've begun the process of, working on these, and I think it was, imprinted on my mind that these are my objectives or, executive director goals, but I think there's a lot of, obviously, input and, assistance that I'm gonna use our staff on, and some of them are really qualified to speak on, or to assist and participate in this, these objectives.
That is exactly right.
So, kind of worked on sort of, signing out some of those and how that would look, and had a good conversation about some of the ones that maybe fall with different people as well as myself. I have one question or a couple questions that I did want to ask is, what are the board's desires in terms of visibility to the goals? I know the format that we used last time, I don't think it works as well in terms of accomplishing the goals, the charts and things. I don't know if we want to just keep it on the agenda and have a discussion, and I can update the board with anything that's been accomplished or that we're working towards, or if there's something more concrete that you're looking for. And then also, is there a timeline? I just want to solidify that in my head, the timeline for reviewing, where the evaluation of accomplishment of these objectives as possible, because some will take a long time, or will take the full, a year from now probably. What is the timeline that the board would like to use in moving forward?
Well, what I saw in the, goals listed under old business was the board expressed a desire to see these results incorporated into monthly meetings. So I think that is basically what we start with.
So, well, what I would recommend is on your executive director report, just have 4 sentences. We're in a better financial position today because of X and Y and Z.
Yeah.
Our facility upgrades are continuing. We're doing X and Y and Z in our facility. Our here's what we've done for community relationships over the past week or month or whatever, and then a paragraph or sentence about the organization, just how the organizational culture is doing, what we're doing to improve it.
Now, I think you could even add it to that agenda where, I think part of your role, what you'll want to do is make linkages for us, right? So, in other words, you're saying this contributes to our objective number 1, which is improving financial security and growth, right? So you could even put that on the agenda, links to objective 1, or links to objective, right? You could, or build it in organically as you talk about it, help us see the links. Because the idea is that the activities that you're carrying out or that you're leading your staff to carry out link to these sort of strategic.
But these are district goals.
Right.
I mean, Skylar is helping us achieve district goals, and there's no timeline for improving the financial security of the organization. We're going to continue that probably forever because we're all a little bit fiscally conservative, and we want to make sure we spend the dollars correctly. So we're always going to be wanting to know about financial security. The other things too, but we also want to know how we're making progress toward those.
Good.
But I don't think reporting on I'm not very interested in having us go through the list
Of the performance indicators.
No.
Just the objectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 4 objectives.
Right.
Well, and it allows you to ask us, I'm having trouble figuring out how you want me to achieve this. So what do you want me to do?
Or here are 3 ideas, 3 directions we can go. What does the board think? Right? Because the idea is that we want you to bring your and your team's best thinking forward.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That makes sense. That's similar to kind of what I was thinking and hoping for. So. Great.
Fee review. Celeste, I saw that you sent me an email about this, but I did not get a chance to look at it. I apologize.
Yeah, so Skylar sent out a fee schedule, so we can discuss that. But I then in turn sent Skylar a proposal. And so I think Skylar and I thought that we could walk you through this sort of second proposal. Is that right, Skylar? Is that how you want to do it? Or
That's kind of what I was anticipating, yeah. I have the spreadsheet pulled up.
Perfect.
I could share the screen, or you could join the meeting and share from your screen. I also have printed copies of what was in that if folks would prefer
Yeah,
that.
are you able
We do
to
both.
pull up your email by any chance? I sent you a.
Yes, I also
document to
have
your
that,
email.
I did print a few copies of that too.
Oh, why don't we start there?
Okay.
If that's okay,
Yeah.
and the printed copies are fine. So I think, first of all, what I was trying to do is do a few things in this other proposal. And so I think starting there, if we won't go through them all, and I don't necessarily need the copies. So, so the first objective, and we've talked a little bit about this, so I'm not gonna go through ABC, we can go through the ABC part later, but the first one is to make sure that membership in the district, that our members feel like they're receiving excellent value. And because they already are providing, they're already supporting the Hard Grass District through their tax contributions, either as directly as a homeowner or indirectly as a renter. So that was the first thing. The other one was to think about how people who do not live in districts can join the district, and ultimately that it appears as a strong enough value that maybe we have whole communities like your Heart of Beach that might decide to join into our district. But at least initially make it so that folks can opt into district. And then finally is to develop a simplified and predictable formula that has logic to it, that we can easily adjust to match sort of the concept that Kyle's been talking about, which is to adjust to make sure that our programmatic costs are covering the, that basically district fees would cover the facilities usage and that.
And then, yeah, the program costs would cover the variable costs.
The variable
of providing
costs.
a program.
And we have to start somewhere to be able to make a judgment and be able to be adjusting, but to make it so that we're not sort of just raising by percentages, or that there's more logic to it, and that we can do it across the board. Because currently we were only looking at fees for some basically. So those are sort of the main priorities that we started with, and so. Tyler, are you able to make that much larger?
Yes, I'm just gonna position over here, and you tell me what you'd like to zoom in on there.
Yeah, just the top 4 rows.
Painfully small, even past.
Yeah.
Top 4 rows, so the daily rates.
So the top 4 rows is all that we're gonna look at to start with. So the proposal here.
How's that?
You could even go bigger.
Okay.
Oops. I'll take one actually. So the top, so what you'll see is the first column that says current. So currently we're charging residents, for instance, for a general admission individual, we're charging a resident $6 and a non-resident $11. So now we're gonna jump over to the proposal. So I took what we talked about last time and established a regular rate. And so I propose that the regular rate is 13 and that we provide in-district folks a 75% discount. So the published rate at the front desk would be the regular rate.
Right.
And what district folks know is that across the board, they get a 75% discount on everything. So that is simply applied down the road. So we have general admission family, open swim individual, open swim family. Now what you'll see is in that column next to it, column J on Skylar's screen, what I wanted to know is what breaks even. In other words, if I'm a district taxpayer, I went in and I found, and it's at the bottom of the sheet, what the average property assessment is, $309,500 in the county. I think that's a little low for our district actually, because $309,500 is Hammond, Warrenton,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's a little low. But given that, that means the average household is paying $284 a year in taxes to us. And if you count 2 people per household, which is the average in Clatsop County, that would be $142 a person. So what I wanted to know up above is how many times would an individual have to swim
It's $142.
to get basically to the right, so that it's equal for an in-district person and an out-of-district person. And so that would be 15 general admission at $325 plus my taxes that I'm paying.
Well, 15 times 3 is 45. How do you get to 140?
No, it's 15 times the regular rate, right, Celeste?
Well, so it's 15 times 13, which is, so that would be $142.
Okay, and then.
And then $30.25, so it's for them to have the same, I can do the math. I don't have my calculator.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly
But it's
accurate,
not,
but.
right, but it's where there's parity, is what I was aiming at, is like, how many times do you have to go swimming so that there's parity?
So if you take you called it the rack rate before.
Right.
So the rack rate is what an out-of-district person would pay, and they would have to pay
So a tourist
that
coming from Portland.
15 times
Right,
for us to break even on that
no,
person?
for them, it's
For
for
them to
them
break
equivalent.
even.
for them to break even and
Okay.
say, oh, if
Okay.
I'm gonna swim more than 15 times a year, then,
I should just buy into.
I should buy into the district.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
they,
the difference, right?
How
what
did
they
you
do with
come-
like the zoo memberships.
How
Right.
did you come up with
13.
15 multiple, and how did you come up
Well,
with
well, it's just
the discount?
It's the math, so the 75% was, frankly, got to make it a significant discount, that they're already paying the majority of our expenses. So I
But how
wanted
did you start with the regular rate, the increase?
I started, with a slight increase, I think it was based on what, actually, I can't remember, but I think it was.
An increase to the non-resident.
That looks
Just
like around
a slight increase.
Right.
Yeah, like a 20 to 25% increase. So
Right,
that's
the
where we're
non-resident, right.
currently.
And then the math from there.
And then
Right.
you just multiplied that by how many times they have to visit.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
meet their.
I'm concerned about somebody not necessarily understanding the math, wondering about how, I mean, the number 75%, I mean, sure, if you're in district, you're getting a benefit, but it almost I mean, and I don't know how to articulate it when I don't understand. I don't know how to articulate something I understand to something I don't understand.
So they get 75% off the regular rate.
Right, but why, I'm
Because they're
concerned,
paying their taxes.
I'm concerned that number is gonna make somebody think that we're really rich. I mean, I don't know how to think that, because I get what you're saying. I'm trying to see what somebody who just walks in off the door, out the front door or in the front door, whatever, is saying, wait, I get a 75% discount?
No, if they walk in the door, they don't, if they're in district. So I
Right.
do think there would need to be education in the lobby that our in-district members receive a 75% discount. But
Right.
these are our regular rates. The rates that would be shown, or most prominent in the lobby, would be these regular rates.
So I have a question, and it may turn out to be rhetorical, but what is the sensitivity to pricing for in-district and out-of-district residents? How many more people will show up if our price drops to $3.25? And how close to capacity are we?
I mean, for some programs and activities, we're very close. We're at capacity. We can almost always accommodate more lap swimmers and swimmers typically, but our programs are typically really close or at or over capacity. I think there's going to be an education that is needed and a significant effort by staff and with board support, maybe board suggestions and ideas too, on how to effectively communicate this message and make those conversations make sense for our staff. But I honestly think that, I mean, we were talking about doing this transition, going to one base price with a discount that's not even posted under the proposal that we had before, and I think that was going to be a positive step because it demonstrates the value of being in the district.
Yes.
And it shares to the district residents currently that there is great value, like we're appreciative of your support. It's your tax dollars that make this much more affordable for you to participate.
Yeah, yes, and I get that, but half of our income comes from fees.
So
You
all
know,
of this is,
we have
the
a
caveat
$4 million
here.
budget, we need to
Yeah.
collect $2 million in fees.
So the caveat here, and I've actually requested, is that from Skylar, is that we actually run this through a scenario, that we break down revenue currently and where it's coming from.
Game it and see.
And game it, see exactly,
Yeah,
because
okay.
I actually think, so once we get through this, I think there's actually potential for more revenue.
But
Okay,
Skylar
wait,
says we're at
wait.
capacity.
What's game it mean?
Game it means run a
So
simulation
how
to see
many
how much
passes
we
did
would
we
make.
sell that were in residence versus
Okay.
out of residence?
So apply this rate to what we did last year and see how much we collected.
So let me continue through, because I
Okay.
think I think what this does is pushes up the number of people that buy in to memberships, because the rate is so substantial. So let me finish, so let's keep going. Okay, so the next thing is passes, this orange section, which currently are advertised as youth memberships and adult memberships, and part of the problem there is I suspect what happens is that people buy memberships who are not in district, so they avoid buying into the district, and instead
For the
just buy a
daily
pass,
rates.
and they get these low rates. So they're actually getting, that's cheating the system. I mean, not intentionally, but that's what they're doing.
Cheating the system.
Yeah, they're getting, in other words, they're paying substantially less
They're getting a benefit they don't deserve.
that they don't deserve, right? They're paying substantial. So my proposal is that we don't make out-of-district people, we don't make passes available to out-of-district people.
How many passes do we sell a year to out-of-district people?
I buy one.
You're in
Oh, in district, sorry.
Yeah, so you'd still be able to.
And I don't know off the top of my head, Kyle, and there's
Well, but-
different
Is it
categories.
hundreds or is it dozens?
That's
Is it-
the thing too, though,
It's
there.
probably like, if you added up annual, monthly, and 3-month, it's probably hundreds, but very, not, like around 100, maybe
Mhm.
110 or something.
Well, what
But
about the
again, it's-
person who lives in Portland but is here most of the, like 6 months out of the year?
Yeah,
Okay.
so let's get to that, because I think it would behoove them to pay into the district. They should not pay less than we're all paying.
They're not paying.
They're not paying taxes.
There may be,
Well, they're-
I'm thinking of the
Right,
lady who
yeah.
probably is paying taxes.
Then she applies,
Then they're in,
she qualifies too.
then they're in district.
Well, if she owns property,
I
that's different from living here.
I don't know.
You
Because
own
a
property
property
here, you
owner
would move
pays
your-
taxes.
Right, I don't know that detail about her,
yeah.
Yeah.
the particular
So-
person I'm thinking of.
If they're paying taxes, or a renter that rents
Mm.
property here that for taxes that go on here, then they're in district.
So my weak ability to kind of parse this out was, I was thinking that our taxpayers pay for the stuff, the buildings, keep the lights on, the staff and so on, and then the extra amount that they pay is for the actual variable costs of their share of
Yeah.
that program, you know, so Carolyn has a swimming class, and you pay your, I don't know what's the swimming class cost, whatever it is. Part of that for in-district residents is paying, well, no, the district residents have already paid for the building, so their cost should just pay for the cost of
So I think it's
the marginal
effectively,
cost of the class.
so I think it is effectively doing that, because, I mean, have them pay their part of the building would be to have them become a member.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but we can't charge somebody $423 plus the $6 for the
No, but we
programming.
can figure out what it costs for that share of the building for each individual event.
We could if we knew, right, but I don't think we have that accurate of
Like
that granular information yet, but I think that we could get there. That is exactly because what I'm trying to do with this proposal is get more people to purchase the full membership.
But at
As
the same
opposed to-
time, our responsibility is to get the most number of people taking advantage of our
So-
programs as we can.
I don't know if that's true
Well, that's what we're here for.
In-
We're
in
here to
district.
provide recreation.
to
Well,
our district.
I want kids
Right.
to be able to swim who don't know how to swim because of that ocean out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I-
but
I don't
we're
care where
beholden
they
to
go.
our, so this is I think this is a good discussion,
Mhm.
because I think we're beholden to folks in our district, because they're our
Yeah.
taxpayers.
Mhm.
So if we want to expand, like, do we want more people from Hillsborough coming and using our facilities?
Well, if there's vacancy at our facilities, anybody we can put in there is beneficial to us, irrespective of whether they cover a fixed or marginal cost, whatever. But if we're at capacity and we lower the price for district residents, which I'm supportive of,
Yeah.
but they can't take advantage of that lower price because every program they try to get into is full.
Well, so that's the
Then
next
full.
thing, so, actually, so that's the
But
next
isn't that the
thing.
point, that we want it
Yeah,
full?
but if they're already full, then why do we
So-
lower the price for?
So that would be
district
one of the
residents?
benefits, so there's a couple different benefits. So now, one of the benefits is we get the 75% off, this is the A, B, and C on that
Okay.
other sheet. So you get the 75% off the rack rate. You have the ability to buy passes and punch cards, if you're a member, and you have first in line sign up event.
So then for out-of-district residents, they would just have daily passes, that would be their only way to participate.
So when
Or they join.
Or they can join membership, so that's the, so like, we keep.
I think you should go through that, because
Yeah.
I think that's
So-
the model that you.
right now, if I were back here, 5 days a week I come in and I swipe my card. So it would be known that I'm somewhere in the computer system, that I'm in district, and I don't have to stop and,
Correct.
go through 20 questions before I get in the water.
Correct.
Okay.
I think what we try to utilize now, and it needs some refinement, and that will probably be packaged as whatever changes come as a result of this discussion, but yeah, there's a verification of your membership, basically, your tax status. And then once you're in the system, then we're gonna assume, at least for some period of time, probably like a year, that you're a district resident, or that you're not, and that's how you're gonna be charged and be able to access the facilities.
Does our system have the ability, I'm sort of looking at you over there.
Yeah.
Does our system have the ability to, kind of expire that information? Like
It does.
the library, like,
Yeah.
I have to go and improve
Mhm.
every 2 years
Sunset.
that I still live here.
We can develop an internal process, I think, for that. I don't think that would be
Because I think-
too complicated.
Well,
I agree with, like, if I could move to Gearhart,
Yeah, we need to build it into our procedures that this is.
You could with the library too.
Yeah.
You actually even could with the schools.
yes, but so like, I've already established that I live here with the park district and with the library, and I could move to Gearhart, and they're not gonna ask me again, do you still live in Seaside?
But that's what he's saying, is I think he has an annual, there's an annual.
I know, that was my question,
Yeah,
but they
okay,
just answered.
fine. Yeah, okay.
Question, Catherine. I think we're pretty focused on, of course, our big service is the pool, and we're really looking hard at most of these fees. But objective number 1 is, item C, key result, plan and implement new user fee schedules across all programs. So where does our other pickleball stand? Where does our youth program stand? Our childcare, our preschool? Where do those costs come into view? Those are also part of the financial
So
picture.
These are up here, so if we can just finish with the spreadsheet, we'll keep going. So the purple section is the member buy-in rate. So what is done here is to expand the types of membership that you can purchase in, if you're out of district. So these are only for out of district people that wanna buy in. So the cost for a family to buy in and become a district member is $430. That we would offer a monthly payment for people who can't afford that large one-time payout. So it's a monthly, but it would have to be under a 1-year agreement and an ACH withdrawal. We'd offer the same for adults, single adults, and we'd offer also a discounted rate for youth and seniors.
And these are for aquatics.
This is across the board.
Across
So
the
then the
board,
next,
this is gonna
this
pay
is
for
how to
the
buy-
preschool and the
yes,
childcare.
so next section, if we go to the next section, which is other activities,
Yeah.
you'll see weekly swim lessons. So this would be example. So currently we're charging $65 for swim lessons. So the new rate for an out-of-district person might be $80, and a 75% discount would be $20 for our in-district
Okay.
people.
Okay.
For special events, same thing. We've raised out-of-district. And what I think we would get, Kyle, is to a place where we can predict revenue on these. To do what you're,
That's what I wanna do.
that's what you're
because-
talking about, right?
Because I don't know how many of these we're gonna sell, or how many of these we're gonna sell, so I don't have an idea what kind of impact that's gonna have on the budget.
And right now, we charge the same for swim lessons. So if you're somebody
We
from
don't-
Hillsborough,
We have a out-of-district rate for swim lessons.
oh, it's not on the website.
Okay. We do, yeah.
Okay.
when you go to sign up.
Okay.
The biggest benefit for in-district folks will be the ability to sign up early.
Yeah. And so, for instance, like for pickleball, so we're proposing that the out-of-district fee for open gym for pickleball is $8, but it's, for in-district residents, it's only $2.
How many times would you have to come to pickleball before you're?
Whatever, yeah.
Well, they're here 3 or 4 times a week.
I know.
so-
I know, exactly.
Wondering, so it'd be easy to.
But actually, so I think we have a lot of Gerhardters that come in for pickleball because it's big there, like, that's what I'd love to see is them saying, oh, wait, look at what a good value it is
There's
to
no
be a
indoor
district member.
pickleball courts over there.
Yeah, and what a good value it is to be in district, and how come we don't qualify? And Gerhardt would say, talk to your city council. So that's the idea, is that they start feeling it, the difference, because our taxpayers, our members, are already paying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea.
Anyone know what ever happened to, is it Cartwright Park and the development of pickleball courts there? Seemed to,
I don't think it's happening right now.
I mean, because I know the cost of the renovations of the bathrooms was exorbitant.
Yeah, from
And
what I
then
heard,
they have to knock that building down, I think.
yeah, the city is stalled a little bit because the demolition of the building would be pretty cost prohibitive right now. So I don't know if those plans are moving forward, at least right now. Maybe they're still in the 5-year plan or so.
Because I was thinking.
And even so, those are gonna be outdoor courts. So
Yeah,
it doesn't-
unless they say, hey, value to indoor, maybe we modify that structure. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess if the city wants to start providing indoor recreation space, that's
They should contract with us.
kind of a
I was
duplicate of services, but so be it.
So what's your timeline, Skylar, to have the new rates in place?
It's supposed to be September 3rd, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah, and it still was. I think we were
We
hoping
wanna
to
do it
kind
in
of
the fall,
finalize our proposal tonight and then work with staff over the next 6 weeks or so. We can adjust the timeline if need be, but I think if we're able to leave this meeting with a good sense of what the board would like to see, and then we model out some of our current existing memberships and how many folks buy in and that type of thing, and we can kind of do some analyze the data and the numbers and make sure we're gonna be in a good spot financially. It's hard to disagree that I think this really sends a very strong message to our district residents that they are the ones that support the district, and I think that's a message that I've heard from the board, strong, loud and clear for the last couple of years, and I also think it does leverage our desires to expand the district boundaries and to provide those services, but do it in a way that's financially responsible. And after Celeste and I chatted about this earlier, I was thinking about, it's hard to imagine another special district, I think, providing the same level of service that we strive to provide to our out-of-district folks in the same way. So I can't really imagine a waste district or a transportation district or fire district doing those things. And as much as it is our goal to provide those services to like Gerhardt and Seaside, or Gerhardt and Cannon Beach residents, and even further away than that, I think we're duty bound to serve our residents, those that have been.
so long as we're not subsidizing out-of-district residents, I'm fine.
Well, what I liked about this is that it actually invites them in to become members, so they don't have to wait for their whole community to decide to opt in, they can decide. So if it's somebody that comes from Hillsborough and has spent a significant amount of time down here, we'll invite them to opt into the district and become a member. So it's not unlike if you go to Bend and you are at Sun River and you buy membership to the Shark. You buy into that, right? Because you have enough value in that recreation and you don't want to pay the huge fees each time you go.
How do other recreation districts do it? And recognizing that not all of them are in resort communities, but how do they differentiate?
Yeah, they almost all of them have an out-of-district and an in-district rate. But I think the difference is that we don't have, I haven't found any other park and rec special districts that have geographical, I'd say, abnormalities in the way that our district has, where we literally have, area north of Gerhardt that's in the district, and then Gerhardt is not. And area, not necessarily south of Cannon Beach, but definitely southeast of Cannon Beach, out on Highway 26 that's in, and Cannon Beach is not.
That'll leave the district to get into the district.
Yeah.
I mostly love all of this. I am I would like to see the numbers. Like, my hesitancy lies just from dropping so heavily, which I think if we can do it, is absolutely the way to go. But I don't want us to, what I would hate for us to do is do this, move ahead, and then go, whoops, that was
Yeah.
a really bad idea. We need to go back up 75%.
Yeah.
And I think that would look very bad for us. So I think if we can, I mean, it's probably a lot of legwork would be my guess for,
I think once we are able to
but-
generate the report, we can plug things into a spreadsheet and look at different kind of scenarios.
I would love to see, like, if this applied to our last year, where would we have been
Yeah.
financially? Like,
And I think that's right, and I think part of what I was hoping that we could come back was with approval from the board to go run this model and maybe run the numbers at 50%, 60%, 70%, 75%, something like that, and just see where we land. I do think there's gonna be a flaw in the data in this. My guess is that we have been selling
yeah,
Passes.
youth membership passes to out-of-district people, and those would have actually become memberships. So we're gonna have to take some guesses
Yeah.
at what we think would convert to now membership buy-in. So I think we'll have to do some good estimating on that, but,
the other thing that I would like to throw out there as a consideration for this whole process, which I've mentioned many, many times since I started, but we are in a tourist town. We are a resort destination, and the Shark, where my mom lived in Crooked River Ranch, they have passes that homeowners that do the rentals can purchase to leave with their home,
love it.
so that people who rent that space
Yeah.
can take that pass and go use the pool. I don't think that falls into any of these categories right now, but I think that should be something we consider doing. I think that's an untapped tourist
Yeah.
market and a benefit to people who own the homes, pay those taxes, but don't necessarily, want to use it, and they can add that to their, drawings in for their visitors, say, this house comes with access to the pool.
So why don't we add that as a different kind of membership?
I
So we
think
have a family membership, an adult membership, and a rental, a transferable rental membership.
vacation
Yeah.
rental
Mhm.
membership, I think
What
would
about
be
hotels?
same.
Well, they could
If
just
they
use
don't,
that one for their
yeah,
payers.
Well, I was mentioning to Skylar today, there's so many people that have come into our classes and have said, I didn't know there was a pool here.
yeah.
And I don't quite understand that, but some of those people have been here for years.
We need a big
Yes.
ODOT sign on the corner
Some
of
of our
Broadway
county
that says
commissioners
pool.
do not know we have a pool.
Yeah.
I talked to Pam Webb, and I've been trying to get with her. She wants to see our pool. I'm gonna give her a tour.
Okay, I know I just sort of said that humorously, but, could we do one of those ODOT signs? What does it take to get an ODOT sign?
There's some, fees associated if you wanna sign like that. They don't.
Pool here?
The blue sign,
Well, yeah.
But it might be worthwhile. I think it's part of I guess I'd like it to be considered as part of a larger signage plan that we develop in, kind of in conjunction with the opening of the SRC, where we're encouraging folks to, at least look this way.
Yeah.
Here's this cool recreation building, and another half block further, there's a pool.
I think the pool, though, is an easy draw for folks, like, if you just have a sign that says pool or swimmer or whatever, then you get them in the door, and then you can be like, here's all the other things that we offer.
Sure.
I don't know, anyway, yeah.
Well, and I'm really grateful for the sign on the corner that says Sunset Recreation Center,
Yeah,
that I think maybe
Probably
Levi
do
and
buy.
Courtney put up, whatever, it's like, oh, good, it's not Broadway School.
So I think the consensus is this is a good direction to go, but we just wanna make sure the numbers are gonna pan out before we make that leap.
Can you run a simulation?
Yeah, so we're asking for 50, 60, 75, or 50, 60, 70, 75?
I mean, as long as you're running them, I
Yeah.
think it makes sense to throw them.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then how quick do we get back together?
yeah, that would be, I guess the next question is, do we want to bring those, scenarios back to the board in August, or?
May I ask, not realizing I was not at the last meeting, but what is the push for September?
It's because we have a new program guide that will be effective that day. And that program guide, we're switching the guide to be published twice a year. So that's kind of the school year program guide, and then there'll be a summer program guide. Now, we could do an insert, you know, if this change, yeah, it happens later, but it is really nice to kind of line up. There's a, as you know, there's a kind of a turn the page shift at the end of August, early September
Yeah.
for us and a lot of our programs and services.
So does that mean a workshop?
We could.
It could.
How long does it take from the time you nail down the rates to get that information into the program guide, so it can go out to the community?
Program guide typically takes about 5 to 10 days to get printed. And it's already
But as far as like,
it's in development right now.
So now it pushes us back to October 23rd, or August 23rd, something like
I
that?
think if we didn't have a decision before August 23rd at the board meeting, that's the day, sounds right, 27th, then we wouldn't be able to have it in the guide.
Right.
Which is okay, like, I don't think we have to wait until.
So another thing we could do, because the board can, like, run the numbers and trust staff once we do the analysis, that, to select the percentage, if this is the route we want to go. I mean, in other words, the board doesn't necessarily have to review every single rate.
Well, I guess the question is Skylar, are you comfortable with the direction that the board is going right now? I mean, I'd be comfortable with any number that comes within, I don't know, a few percent of where we are now.
Do we want to increase where we're at now, or just come close to where we're at now?
Well, what I'm worried about is I don't want to come in 15% below where we are now. You know, I'm worried about going backwards.
Yeah, it could work a lot of different ways. When you look at the fees, are important because we have staff to pay, and we have more staff that we haven't hired, hopefully, that we will pay. And there are staff that probably deserve or, you know, a higher rate of income. So I think it's important to be level-headed about it, make sure we have the revenue so we can plan for the future.
I guess my question would be, how fast do you think that data could be compiled? I don't wanna, I mean, I don't even know.
Say maybe like.
I was looking at the guy, you're right.
Is that you or is that Chris?
It's a bundle, yeah, bundle. I think if we had a week to end of next week-ish.
Do you feel like we have data, particularly like for other activities, like particularly the ones that bring in the high fees, like the youth services like childcare and stuff? Do we know who's in district, how many in-district people we have over in out-of-district?
I would share, as I have before, that just about everybody buys into the district in youth programs.
They do.
Yeah.
Such a cost incentive, yeah. Just, and it may actually be everybody. It's either everybody or 95% of the people.
So, I don't know, I just feel like this is a huge shift in our
Sure.
thinking and the way that we're presenting the district, that I would like more eyes on it. I don't feel comfortable just saying, go with it right now. I think we need a workshop. I would like to put a workshop on the calendar.
Maybe we should have a special meeting.
Yeah, I think we need,
Session.
so could we do the 13th of August? Would that be? I am out of town the 6th, but I am back the 13th.
Sorry,
Are you out
I'm scheduled off that week.
that whole week? Okay, does it have to be like I'm back the 7th?
Doesn't have to be a Tuesday. It could be, maybe would the 8th work? 7th or 8th would work for me. That would work for the board.
I can do that. Anybody else?
I could do the 8th.
We're talking about the 13th.
No, 7th or 8th of August. Wednesday or Thursday, probably the Thursday for me actually, because Justin has to go on.
Skylar, can you get the information together by the?
The 8th.
I think
By the
so, I
8th?
think, a week or so, yeah, by next week this time, next Thursday,
It should
next
work for
Friday,
me.
we'll have it.
Okay.
8th,
I can make it work, yeah.
so that's,
Trying to get out there, I can't find it. I do need to.
I know you do a lot of traveling.
So we'd be doing it like at 4? Oh, are you back at work?
Me? No, not till the 12th. So I can do whatever time, and my husband's off, so he's got the kids, so I can, we could meet at 10 o'clock in the morning, I don't care.
Have we got a time for that?
We're working on it.
All right.
We're still waiting to see if the 8th might work for Celeste.
What do you need?
What do
What,
I
do
need?
you have the whole day available? Or
I
do-
have meetings basically from 8 until 1.
Okay,
I'm free after that.
after 1, on the 8th.
At
I'm
one?
free after, I can be free afterwards.
I think, an
prefer-
afternoon meeting sounds fine, but we would need to check on room availability, so maybe we could, I'm guessing we could either meet in here or in the other room or in the SRC,
SRC.
but, something to consider.
Okay.
After 2 would be excellent for me, I don't have to move anything, but I can make.
We
Do you want,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Say, could we do like 3?
yeah, 3?
3 on the 8th?
3 on the 8th.
Typically in the past, we would, have a board motion to
At a workshop.
add a public meeting, yeah.
I'd like to move that we add a board meeting on August 8th at 3 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify aye, opposed nay, Kyle. Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Is there more copies of that?
Yes, there's a whole bunch.
I would, probably goes without mentioning, but I appreciate Celeste and her
Did we
time.
say 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
3?
Yeah.
Do you
3
like
p.m.
to mess with you on that?
You know what, with my memory, it only takes a little bit of messing with.
We're ready to close this part?
Yes.
On the screen? Okay.
I think that's a really good idea. And,
And yes, Celeste, I appreciate all your hard work.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you
And
very
Kyle,
much.
thank you for your work on the, both of you for the goals, so, extra effort.
Actually, that was mostly Celeste
No.
too.
Okay, moving on to projects. Ready, go, Skylar show.
Okay, sorry, I'm just reviewing. Okay. Fire alarm update, project is still going well. They're a little bit ahead of schedule. There's some anticipated challenges upcoming with some of the tougher spaces in the SRC, including the big gym. But, project has gone well. We had all the folks that we hired to help us from Convergent, from Inland Electric, from, Interface Engineering, our owner's rep. We had a walkthrough, the 3rd of July, and that was really effective time. There's going to be a heavy lift that last week of August. I think it's August, sorry.
Youth programs is closed,
Because
right?
youth programs is closed, so they'll finish up the youth programs classrooms, and also will be, we'll have no programming in the gym, and that's when they'll tackle the, necessary repairs and upgrades in that space. But, yeah, really pleased with, the local electricians, and, yeah, process has been good, and we're on schedule.
well, is there anything, well, I'm not sure what your time frame is, because we're looking at Labor Day weekend on the 30th of August for 31st,
Yeah,
1st and 2nd.
so it's the week of August 26th through the 30th. We don't have youth programs that week.
They always close the week before school starts to kind of clean and
We
reset.
won't be able to have pickleball or some of the other traditional activities in the gym.
Oh.
I know. We're hoping with a month, they can prepare, and there's good weather, they can hopefully find pickleball opportunities outside that week.
Okay.
Master plan update, it's also, there's been a lot of, effort, led by some staff, our stakeholder committees. Celeste has participated at a really high level. Appreciate all of those folks that have dedicated some time. We had a meeting with the stakeholder committee, about 10 days ago. And then there's been a couple additional meetings with the project team and Celeste. Documents have been sent out to the board for some review and feedback. I think there's still some challenges to work through, but I think I'm pleased that I think there's more engagement right now than there has been, kind of back and forth, and also the documents have been adjusted and kind of representing, I think, some of the perspectives and opinions that have been shared. Very heavy on facilities side, as Mike has noted, and I think some others have noted, but what I would ask of you is that you review those documents. They're not part of the public meeting for this month, but they will be part of the public meeting for August. And ideally, if you can provide feedback to me before August 21st, that's our next stakeholder committee meeting. And Celeste will be invited, but honestly, if there's other board members, so long as we don't go over the threshold of more than 2 of you, you're welcome to attend, and I can send you reminders for that.
Can I get a paper copy, please?
Of course, yeah. I print a paper copy for Mike. I can do more paper copies. There's a lot of documents. I think there was 11 or 12 attachments, so I know.
Because I don't have a computer in Vancouver.
Thank you.
Okay. So Celeste, anything to add?
No.
Okay.
So I have some comments, not for the board meeting, but do I just give those to Celeste or to you? Or?
Either or, both,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I had some notes that I brought in, but I forgot to bring them tonight.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to meet or send them to me, and
Yeah,
like I said, if there's one additional person that would like to go, we just don't want to be over that threshold of more than 2, but.
Can they give, should it go through you for individual feedback from board members, or should it go to Brandon?
I honestly, I think Brandon's been open to that feedback with
Okay.
you. If you want to send it directly to him, what I'll probably do is just forward your emails if you email them or whatever. Yeah.
and we haven't been in connection with Brandon. You guys have been interfacing this.
Well, he
Long
knows,
time,
he knows you all,
I
and,
think
yeah.
it's obvious that this is gonna be a very important document for us, because we ought to pay attention to the details, because I think it's one of those documents that if we apply for grants,
Yeah.
here's our roadmap,
Right.
and, this is board approved, and
Well, my only
I
question
think it's gonna be an
is
important
where
document.
they've got that
for a
extra
number of
space for the
years.
arts and crafts already. But I mean, I don't see it. Where's the, is it?
Okay.
I want to ask.
Yeah, moving on.
We're moving on.
Broadway Field update.
Yeah, I'll just run through some most recent pictures. Again, yeah, it's, I don't know what we are, month 4, month 5 of this type of report, so I hope it's not getting monotonous, but this will be probably one of the last reports where you see heavy equipment and machinery out. I mean, the project is still ahead of schedule, and I'll run through some pictures. They've installed the baseball and softball scoreboards, and you can see those here. There's still football, soccer scoreboard's been repositioned, so there's 3 scoreboards that are on the field. This is the concrete footing or pad for the bleachers at the softball field. You'll see a lot of this work with the dugouts. That's been a heavy focus over the last couple of weeks. Dugouts have been, framed in, built in, and you'll see the finish work on the sidewalk. I think it's going to be really, one thing that we haven't really talked about, or I haven't probably shared as much, is this really cool walking path that will exist around the entire the fields. People will be able to use that as a space to walk, and it's I think it'll be really nice for folks to in this neighborhood to walk down here, walk around the field a couple of times, and get that physical activity that we hope for folks.
Do you know the length of that?
I don't. If I had to guess, it's probably around 1/3 of a mile. I don't know.
I think the
We'll measure it out maybe.
I think you described it as 0.64 miles.
0.64.
That was on the master plan,
Okay.
so that would be somewhere like that.
2/3.
But
Yeah.
one of the things,
If that like goes around like all the playgrounds.
Yeah.
the master
Or a
plan,
kilometer.
the strategic plan does not describe the new softball field.
Yeah. I think, that's
So,
feedback that we
I think it's
provided.
important that we get that all blended in.
Yeah, we had the, one of the batting, I think the batting facility was in the wrong spot originally, but that's been, I think, adjusted now.
It would be kind of cool, you know, obviously not immediate, but to kind of
Yeah.
create a map, of like, you know, if you walk this far around, this many times, or whatever, you
Maybe a
just
mile and a
walk a
half
mile,
to
or, you know.
It's a great idea, yeah.
Well, like physical therapy originally told me, I would need you to walk a flat mile a day. I know where my 3 courses are up on my hill that are a flat mile.
Wait a minute, on the hill, you said it was a
No.
flat mile.
It is. I have found it, I have driven it, I walk it. However, well, except I don't live here now. But the thing is, doing it down here makes it more accessible. When PT says, Skylar, go walk a flat mile, you can go do it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Another big project that's partially underway is the field goal posts. So really, it adds some complexity to the project to have, field goals for football in the middle of a working baseball and softball field. And it's something that has been a big challenge for the project team to work through. We, school district did decide to purchase different field goals than the ones we have now, which are a lot lighter and will be able to be removed without heavy equipment. We used to have to hire a crane service to come in, drive on the field, and remove the field goal post, and that was pretty labor intensive, twice a year. So the new field goals will be able to be removed without heavy equipment, using this kind of built-in hydraulic system. But the footings are being worked on now to prepare the footings. And
That's good news.
that's what you see on this end of the field, and they're also being worked in on the other end of the field. One of the other things, I think, over the last weekend, there was it's called JBO, Junior Baseball Organization, but like 13 to 14-year-olds had their kind of district tournament here, and so now that that's concluded, primarily the field is not very heavily booked for the next couple of weeks until soccer and football practices officially start, usually around the middle of August.
What are all the yellow things?
That's the baseball and softball fencing. The top of the fence has kind of like a pad gutter railing almost to protect player that might run into it.
Pool noodles.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than a pool noodle, but something like that. So and that fence has been moved hundreds of times, and I know our staff is going to be really happy when the project is done, and they won't have to move that back and forth every day. Another big project that's been going on for a couple weeks with literally hundreds of dump trucks of gravel and rock and fill is grading the softball field, prepping it for the turf. The turf is going to be put in on the field starting next Monday. So once that's in, that's going to make it look real. So lots of efforts there. There's the dugouts getting built. This is near the kind of the corner office where the admin office is. And so they've created some steps and are grading that to make it kind of a seamless transition. There is a ramp right over here too. Some just general pictures of the site. But anyways, project has gone well. Appreciate, again, I'll share that I'm really thankful for the good collaboration that we've had with the school. Weekly meetings have still occurred. I think they've hired great project teams to work on it, and they've been good communicators. We've worked through challenges with the market and just with the project. It's a tight space to do all of this. So really happy that we are getting closer to being done. Yeah, it's been very loud in our office.
What are you gonna do with your free time?
I think I'll probably work on this fee review.
Fee schedule.
Okay.
Associated with this, just a short update on the garden. It was a big effort by our maintenance staff, Levi especially, to kind of try to complete this before his departure. And I think the project is not all the way complete, but it's complete, and the garden looks really amazing, and there's stuff growing there, and there's activity, and they've had so much engagement from the master gardeners and from some of the other local groups, so appreciate all of those.
I saw Mike out there.
That's awesome.
He drove by and was like, oh, there's Mike.
Yeah.
That's
Number,
really nice.
number 5, no significant update, but we have, started to work with the FCS group. They sent us a set of data points that they need to begin their process, and we're working on gathering that data, and really happy again about the opportunity we have to move forward with them. We have a meeting next week with their project team. And then for number 6, I don't actually have an update on this. I was hoping to hear back from our consultant, but I haven't yet as of time of meeting, so a little bit frustrated on that, but there's been some delays in the process, and I can elaborate once I have more information. That's it for projects.
I like those, signs. Are those temporary signs that say, no drive-through there put on the, on?
They are temporary,
Because of
yeah,
the
but
construction?
we could consider putting something more permanent in once we have this construction project behind us. But they have helped a lot with the market traffic too. We wanted to keep folks from turning in that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought it was interesting, because today I parked down by, I needed to go to 3 different buildings, so I parked over in that parking area, and the biggest holdup was the guy who brought his camper all the way through our parking area, trying to turn on Broadway.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Okay, new business, board officer positions.
How much is it pay?
Currently I'm president, Celeste is vice president, and Sue is board secretary.
And Madam Chair, I see no reason to change our board member, or our board positions unless you wish to step down or wish to pass the torch to someone.
I'm fine. Yeah.
I mean, I feel it's really comfortable working with the board right now. Everybody kind of has their roles figured out, and it seems to go pretty smoothly.
Okay. Do we need a motion to reappoint us?
Have a motion to
You
not
can.
have a motion.
Unemotional.
All right, look at us moving right along. Okay, board meeting information. This is where we establish our schedules for the next year.
Yeah, there's some stuff I just hoping for the board to either ratify and move forward, but also some potential discussion points. I know it seems like, December board meeting is a long ways away, but I think it's in our best interest to kind of make some of those decisions now. Working through this, I just need the board to decide if they'd like to keep their meeting date of the 4th Tuesday at 5:15. That's working well, I think, for us as a group and for myself. In the past, we've had some members of the public that think that 5:15 is an inaccessible meeting time. I guess I'm not sure if there is a perfectly accessible meeting time, but I think we're trying to make our meetings available and accessible for the public to provide feedback and be engaged. The location, I think this meeting site has worked out well for us, but I think it's a goal of the staff to utilize the SRC more, and I think it would be a wonderful transition for us to move our meetings to that location at some point in the next fiscal year. There's a really nice, suitable room in the conference room that I think would work really well. We have already had some early talks about promoting access and making sure access works out for members of the public. But to be honest, I mean, that's just a building that we've all invested a lot of our time and the district's resources in, and I think the time has come for us to start using it as much as we can. I'll go back to that. There's some dates you'll see for meetings. Couple things. In October, our normal meeting date would be the 22nd. However, the executive director has to be in Sun River for the ORPA conference that week. So, I'm proposing that we reschedule the October meeting date to the 29th, which is the 5th Tuesday. And I've also rescheduled our board assessment, that was going to happen in August to that date. I think, the feedback that I got was that there was at least one or maybe two board members that wouldn't be able to be here or participate fully in the August date, so, but I do think it's really important, and they were able to confirm that October 29th date to work for them. December 24th, I don't know what you'd like to do, but I would propose that we either move that meeting or not have a meeting on that day. And then in March, again, unfortunately, the fourth Tuesday falls during spring break. I know that's sometimes a time for board members or those of us that might have teachers in our life that don't want to be in Seaside that week. So those are the dates. I would also noted that the board will have an election cycle with 3 of the directors being up for election in spring.
Can you tell me what the time frame for that is, please?
Yeah, typically it's around February when we would have the opportunity to start filing for re-election, and then it's March, April when that kind of stuff is confirmed. April, I guess, is after confirmation, and then if there's campaign activities that happens, and then it's the second Tuesday after the first Tuesday, or the second Tuesday after the second Monday in May, I think is how it's. So second week of May is when elections will be.
We probably should have asked that question when we were talking about the board officer positions, but do you intend to run again, you and Celeste?
And Mike is
Well,
wondering.
but they're not, but Mike's not an officer,
Well, but
either
it
way,
doesn't really
how
impact because it goes all the way to
Either way,
July.
Oh.
yeah, they would serve until the end of
Yeah.
June, unless they were reelected, and then they would serve.
Yeah. So officer, like.
So we're all good.
Yeah.
Also laid out a proposed staff presentation schedule. This works for the staff that are currently in these roles, including Isaiah, who he was ready to present today, but we told him that he had to wait till August. But, and then the other consideration, it seems like we are on a really great pace tonight. I appreciate that. I know you all do as well. I don't think it's anybody's favorite to have long meetings, but I think maybe considering a change in our meeting format or length, I personally, myself, it can be a draining evening if we're here till 8 or 9 o'clock. And I know that is the same for you. Obviously, you're all volunteering, so you're even more indebted, or I'm indebted to you, the district's indebted to you for the work, the volunteer time that you put in. But some options I think would be to have a workshop or have an additional meeting, maybe meet twice a month like City Council does. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm in favor of that. The other option I think would be to set times for each of us, myself and you, in one-on-one meetings to connect and discuss the agenda, work through questions that you might have, and really try to use our meetings to be efficient. If you're familiar with the City Council format, one of the ways that they maximize efficiency is by having a consent agenda with board financials and meeting minutes as part of that consent agenda. Doesn't mean that it's not part of the packet, doesn't mean that it's not transparent, but they're able to move efficiently through some of the regular parts of their meeting to the other items.
And you can always pull something off the consent agenda if you want to discuss it more fully.
And I was interested, I kind of had a feeling that we were trending this way, but just looked back on the meeting minutes for the last 4 years, and for whatever reason, not pointing any fingers, we're trending.
The meetings have got longer since I should have.
We're trending longer, yeah. And it also could be because
It's all your fault, Kyle.
we're accomplishing a lot, we're tackling a lot of really heavier things, and there was a period of time where we hadn't had that much to talk about. We didn't have some of the significant decisions to make that you have all made, so I know there are reasons for that.
I think all in all, we work pretty well as a team and move through things as quickly as we can. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of all this. I think the meeting schedule, I think 5:15 works. I don't see any need to change that. I think the third Tuesday of each month was hard because it fell on, so I think the fourth Tuesday is great. Location, I kind of am hesitant to move until we have our full occupancy. I feel like that's when we move, when we can finally be open the whole building, is my thoughts. Celeste is not, okay.
Wait, sorry, are you saying that, let's say that was like 3 years away?
Yeah, it could be a ways.
Why move
I think
prior to having occupancy?
I think it gets people in the SRC, and that's demonstrating the value of the building, the potential that it has. Honestly, I think it's a better meeting space than this one. I think we're displacing other potential programs and rentals in here where we probably wouldn't be doing that in the SRC. We don't have it tonight, but we did have one night a couple months ago where we had quite a loud activity going on next
Birthday party or something.
next door.
I don't particularly have a strong feeling about where we meet, and I don't think the public notices that much, to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
so I just don't.
As long as it's in
I'm
the
fine with
building.
wherever we meet, we can,
Yeah,
I do think it's important to have this a setup where we
Yeah.
can do Zoom meetings and have good
Yeah.
sound for folks,
Me too.
both internally and externally.
do we have that at SRC?
We have a TV over there, we have Polly, and I can set up a similar, or even better, since it's a dedicated meeting room kind of situation, so I could more adapt it to what we really need.
Okay.
When would you like to aim for that transition to occur? Or do you want to just keep it kind of as something later down the road?
I would say that's up to Isaiah and when it's ready to go.
Okay.
I'm fine with changing the October date. I would propose that we cancel the December date, but somebody would need to motion that. And I move,
I move that we cancel the December date
and move the October date to the 20th.
and move the October date to the 29th.
and also I think, so the March 25th, I think we should do on the 18th, because there is no 5th Tuesday.
And move the March 25th date to March 18th.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify aye, opposed nay. Kyle?
Aye.
Sue?
I'm sure on the 18th. So I say yes, cancel the December meeting. I don't know what CERT is doing. The 18th would have been the meeting date, but it's,
Well, we can always,
it's unknown to me what'll happen.
yeah.
So you can abstain,
We'll see, I agree to the December.
but it's one motion.
It's one motion, so Sue, you don't have to be present at that meeting. We can also adjust it again later on, but let's just get it on the calendar at the moment. So do you want to vote now? So we're moving October 29th, the October 1 to the 29th. We're proposing to cancel December, and we're proposing to move March to the 18th.
And
It's not, you're not committing to being there, Sue.
right. I don't know what's happening with CERT, except they're gonna keep that date. So, I guess, I don't know how, I agree and don't know, so I, 2/3 I agree. So does that mean I agree?
No.
It's up to you. It's
You
a
can
yay,
abstain.
yay or a nay or an abstain.
Well, I mean, it's just a date. So
Yes, it is just a
I
date.
guess I say
You're
yes.
not committing to
Okay.
either.
Yeah. Okay, Celeste?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that part, staff presentation schedule looks great to me, if they're fine with it.
I do think, I would just say, I mean, I think the staff presentations are a highlight for all of us to hear from those, but I do think maybe that we try, I don't know if we've had certain time, if we've given them instructions time, and I know that as board members, we could maybe abstain from so many questions, because I've noticed that takes us way
It
over.
takes a long time.
And if we abstain from questions, ask those questions maybe outside.
And I feel like that part was very important when we had a very different board rotating every month. But, you know, we've been together for a little while now, and not that we don't want to hear from them and see what's new and all, but I think they could shorten some of, because we have heard a lot of it. So maybe just what's new.
We're looking at like 5 to 10 minutes?
I think 15 would be great.
With questions or without?
We will do our best to keep
Honestly, I've been
questions.
telling them 10 minutes, but I think sometimes they go over, and also there's a lot of engagement, it's
Yes.
great. So,
Which we,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
encourage them to 10 minutes.
but I would specify too, really, like, we don't need an introduction of who they are. We know who they are.
So fun, because then we get to see like the baby picture.
Well, they can still include that if they want to, but I mean,
Whatever it is, yeah, okay.
highlight.
They could also provide some information in another,
Yeah,
a printed
do a
document.
print
Yeah, in a
for us to
staff
look at later
report,
with all the
and then
pictures.
Supplement with.
And you don't want a picture of me smiling on that thing as I get rammed by somebody? That was so fun.
But that one does seem to go long.
I
feel
know.
like we ended up spending 45 minutes just on that, which is great,
The guy
but.
told me, I said, what do I do with this? He said,
Okay, what
"Tell
else?
me the whole
Yeah,
thing."
Isaiah's
Like a
listening,
folded little
start us
camera.
off.
You lead by example, Isaiah. We want the baby pictures, but we want like
Yes,
short and
please.
sweet and to the point.
I can do that.
Okay. I don't want to add a workshop. Been there, done that.
Okay.
It's a lot. I already got enough going on. I'm already on 4 other boards. Okay. Done. Audit contract renewal with Kern and Thompson. Is that time to renew with them? I personally have enjoyed our relationship with Kern and Thompson. Do you have any issue not to?
I would have an issue if we don't move forward, and to be fair, as you can see, I've already signed the contract because we needed to secure them, and I felt like, generally speaking, the support of the board was strong for this contract. When we looked for a different CPA a few years ago, it was really difficult. I got lucky to have Kern and Thompson. They have the city as well, and so we can.
So do you need a motion?
I would like a motion, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But
I
Sue has
wanna-
some,
I read this thing, and I would like a correction on page 5 with the dates.
So do you want to make the motion with those corrections?
And then I wondered what the 2 points were on page 3.
You say page 5?
Page 5 is the one that has, the reports were done in 2023
Yeah.
instead of 24.
Okay, and then what was the other one?
And the other one was, on page 3, it's under audit procedures, internal control, we get down to the second paragraph, if you will.
We should just hire Sue.
We have identified the following significant risks: management override of controls and improper revenue recognition. I don't know what that means. And I just wanted to understand what that meant.
What page was that on?
That's on page-
What it means is the auditors have an obligation to identify ahead of time some of the things that are prominent in public auditing. And so these are the sorts of things they'll be looking for, management override and.
So this is what I saw at Sunset Empire. This is what we see as a general.
Looking for.
This is not their scope of work, but it's the sorts of things that they're gonna be focusing on. You know,
Okay.
their scope of work is gonna be the entire audit. But I agree with these things, these are risks that they should be looking at.
But absolutely the date needs to be corrected.
you got it.
I'll second.
Well, we need a motion.
I thought did you motion?
No, I
No,
said
she
you
took
should
only
make
a
the
motion.
motion.
Oh,
So I motion to accept, is it we're accepting Kern Thompson as our
Yes.
CPAs? And the only thing I would like to request is that they alter the date on page 5 to be accurate.
I will second Sue's motion and propose to edit.
Thank you. All in favor, signify aye. Opposed, nay. Aye. Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Moving right along, IG
So we have another IGA
You just
for review.
can't get away from us.
I wish I could, but, this one is pretty straightforward. We have a 5-year agreement with the city of Seaside to manage this building, the Baptism Community Center. Current agreement expired, a couple weeks ago, but we're still acting in good faith, knowing that this agreement was in the works. The agreement is pretty straightforward and doesn't have any substantial changes from the previous one. What has changed is the removal of what used to be called the drop-in room, which was right behind us here, and it's now called the conference room. And the other changes that we have proposed, and it's been at least verbally accepted by the city, a increase in the annual payment for managing the facility. It's up about 4% from our current contract, but this contract or this agreement includes 4%, 4.3% increases annually to manage the contract, and that's based on a 5-year average in the last 5 years of the West Coast CPIU, which is the Consumer Price Index that is used to kind of get a sense for inflation and cost of living adjustments and things like that. So it's pretty straightforward agreement.
So the 4.3% that we calculate today is applied each year for the next 5 years. We don't recalculate the 5-year average every year. Okay.
We felt like that was the most fair thing to do with the city, and seems.
Are there, just in our past, having been through some challenges with IJs and different parties, do we have any of those sorts of, like, do we need to flush out things anymore to be very clear on? Do you get where I'm trying to say?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so, and to be honest and open, this agreement will still have 2 sets of approval to earn. So the Baptism Community Center Commission, City Appointing Commission will review the agreement in their August meeting, which is first week of August, and then the City Council will also review. All that it's been agreed upon so far is the staff of the city and staff of the district.
Okay.
But I think there's been adequate review of it by those parties at least, and now it's up to kind of appointed and elected officials to ensure that it's.
Because what I saw
There.
on the very top of the last page was the comment about each party shall within 5 days select a person, but the, point being that it's usually like 5 business days. Because if you do something on the 4th of July, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you don't have adequate time. So I wondered if, that needed to say business days, but Skylar said that it's gonna be reviewed by several others, maybe that'll be picked up.
I think we could add the business days just to clarify and make sure that,
Yeah.
Can I just make sure, so as I'm understanding this, so we're managing any rental of the space, any use of the space, and passing on any of those fees to the city.
minus our staff costs.
In our staff costs, do we plus up for benefits
We do.
or supervision and all
Yeah.
of that? Okay.
And overtime as well, if that's,
About overhead.
Yeah,
that's all factored in.
Okay.
so we're providing staffing every hours 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Fully staffed, managing rentals, passing through those payments, so we're doing all the admin that's required to do that. We're providing all the janitorial services. We are reporting any maintenance issues. We do all the landscaping. We're maintaining insurance. Seems like a lot to me. I mean, if we feel like,
Wait a minute, why are we maintaining insurance on somebody else's building?
We're maintaining insurance
it's our
on,
umbrella, because probably.
the programs and services that we offer here are district programs.
Okay, but what about the insurance, the hazard insurance for the building?
I think it's an umbrella for
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
programs that.
No, but are we providing it, or is the city providing it?
The city building, the building of the facility.
Owner.
that's gonna be-
Yeah,
Owner
they
should
probably
pay
have
for
an,
it. Right.
they probably have an umbrella, but for the activities that take place in here, that would fall under our umbrella.
Yeah,
It's probably
yeah.
the real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just seems, it seems like a lot to me. I can see, like, that it's part of our suite of services, and we're doing all that we get a claim, sort of the senior services and so forth, but they're getting a deal. I don't think that's covering your staff time for a full, I mean, if you're staffing the building 9 to
No.
5,
But I think, what I guess I wanna make sure we are sharing, and it's slightly changed now and changing more, is this was the only indoor space that we had to offer programs. And will still be one of the only spaces that we can offer programs. So the meal site, you know, that has to have this facility. Our fitness classes at one point all existed in this space. Pottery, bridge, you know, all those types of programs and services that we're offering. Now we have at least the capacity, or will in the future, to offer those programs elsewhere. But even still, for now, until the building is ready to go for those, I think this space really serves an important role. So there's kind of a trade-off, yeah, maybe we're not.
So I just have a thought. I don't have all that much energy on agreement with this city. I do feel like Skylar's got a lot of plates spinning right now. And I'm a little reticent to throw a kind of complex, nebulous thing at him. And
yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think this is, I'm just
It's not
pointing out
urgent,
that
yeah.
it's not urgent, but I do think, like, I don't think we're
in
recovering our
time, we should
time,
look
we should
at.
probably readdress
I agree with
Well,
that.
well, I think as part of our plan, and I've talked to Brandon a little bit about this, is how does this building fit into the future of the district? Because I think once that building is open and is utilized in the way that's like most effective, I think there's a redundancy with some of the services or programs that we've traditionally housed here. It doesn't mean this building doesn't have space. I don't think we can replicate the meal site over there, for example, but we can replicate pottery over there, or, you know, migrate pottery over there, or yoga, or some of those types of programs, meeting spaces.
So is it your thinking that maybe in 5 years we hand the keys back to the city?
I think it's certainly possible, or this building functionally looks a lot different. Maybe it's used, I mean,
Yeah.
the need for meeting space in our community is really high. So I think there's going to be groups that
An
still
event
want,
space.
Yeah.
still want access, but I think this building might look and function a lot differently. It might be
Maybe
more.
we don't have a staff person here
Right.
Monday through Friday night.
Right.
Or maybe the
exactly.
city staffs
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or another program that does senior specific services,
Yeah.
for instance. That could be another place.
Well, and just to be fair, the CERT meeting occurs after hours, and because I'm a board member, I have a
You
key,
have access to it.
and Kyle's here if I'm not here.
Okay, so understanding this needs some thought for the future, but at this moment,
So,
thank you. Second?
Yes.
Anyone? Yes? All in favor, signify by opposing. Kyle?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Alright. Bank signers. How is that going?
Pretty simple. It's going well in the early stages. It seems like the transition is gonna be fine. We are not really making any changes to the approved bank signers, at least, that's what I shared, and, but we just wanna have a motion on, a board action on the record.
Things up for the opening of the account.
just one question, when the paychecks go out, who are they signed by?
So they're electronically signed in our system. The system has them printed with, my name and, Justin's name.
Okay.
On them. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that enough people?
I think it is, but there's certain people that, like, obviously we can't have Chris, we don't want Darren having access. No offense to Darren, he's just used the system before and,
Checks and balances.
yeah, so, it's hard. I don't know if there's any other upper level folks, but that's traditionally what we've had is 3 staff and a board member. Sometimes we've had 2 board members, but I'm feeling confident. Because we don't have to get the checks actually physically signed, our system prints them once the signatures are on. It's pretty rare that we actually have to sign a check.
Right, I just didn't wanna have somebody else's signature on one of those
Yeah.
pre-approved checks whose name wasn't on this list.
Yeah,
And do I need to go down and sign?
you will, yeah.
There'll be a
when they're
card
ready.
in there.
Business cards, yeah.
Yeah.
So, from the bank's perspective, what they're gonna wanna see is the approved minutes of this approval, so it won't be for another month
Correct.
before.
Well, you guys just scheduled a board meeting that we could present.
Oh,
to
yeah,
you
there you go.
on August, 8th, so
Okay.
maybe after that at least, though, yeah.
In that case, I'm good. I move that we authorize Skylar Archibald, Justin Smith, Haley Wilding, and Sue Coddington as authorized check signers for the SEPRD accounts with Bank of the Pacific.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, say Kyle.
Aye.
Sue.
Hi.
Celeste.
Aye.
Kyle. Why do I keep calling Kyle? Mike.
Aye.
My brain's getting tired. Catherine.
You
Aye.
just got degraded in status, Mike.
To be fair, I'm getting a migraine again. I do not like these lights. Required training in the state of Oregon update.
I do have a short update. The state has, decided that the training requirements will not be released until 2025.
Okay.
SDAO has developed a training, though, an optional training for board members, for public officials to complete. It's gonna be released via, their online training portal. It's called Vector Solutions. We use it for our internal staff training. It's actually pretty good. So it'll be up to the board if they want to complete that. I don't think staff will not be pushing you to complete it, but if there's an internal desire by the board to complete it, that'll be up to you, and I can send you links, and it's a pretty easy system to log on to and complete that.
And when's that being put out?
It's supposed to be out by the end of this month,
Sure.
and
That
it
is-
does still count for our best practices discount.
Then I would just send the link when it's out to everybody.
Okay. Done.
Okay. Skylar Show.
Okay, well, just a few things, as I shared, electronically, with you all, and some were able to come to a little goodbye party for our Director of Facilities and Maintenance, Levi, who resigned and left employment with the district on Friday. We're in a little bit of a transition with that, department, and I think, I don't really have any concrete details to share. We're gonna, move forward with, the staff that we have in place for a short time, and kind of assess what the needs of the department are. And I think that's really, important for me to get a better sense for how the district can support that department. There's a lot on their shoulders, and we recognize that, and we've been doing, the employees of that department have been doing a lot of heavy lifting, heavy projects, with the pool, the SRC, our exterior grounds, over here doing work supervising janitorial services, so. But I do want to, share my appreciation for Levi for his work, and he was an employee for 7 years and 3 months, and, like I shared at his, kind of goodbye party, I think the district accelerated in their pace and their ability to maintain facilities at a high level. Once Levi got here, he really brought us into a really good space, and super thankful for his hard work and leadership in our organization. So he'll be missed for sure.
Big
And,
shoes.
Yeah, thankful for capable hands. He has helped grow Courtney, the maintenance coordinator, and the rest of the executive team will be providing some support and leadership to assist the maintenance department for the time being. But I'll have more details to share in the coming days and weeks about that. Not heavy discussion, but did want to share there's some upcoming opportunities for trainings with special districts, including one locally with Eileen on August 20th in Astoria, August 21st in Salem, and then a board training with George Dunkel, special districts consultant, on October 2nd in Salem. And then did note the dates of the ORPA conference in Sun River. So if you'd like to attend those or get signed up or need support in any way, please let me know. Some really cool events upcoming, and also previously happened. We are having just a really nice market season. I heard some of you chatting about participating, and appreciate that support. It's very busy, it's robust, we have great food, the music has been awesome, vendors are happy and doing well. There's parking challenges for sure to work through, but other than that, everything else has been going really, really nice. Appreciate the hard work of Zoe, in leading out on that. We had a great float at the 4th of July parade. I don't know
Yes, we
if
did.
folks saw us, but we played pickleball as we moved along the
Are you
parade
kidding?
route.
Yeah, they
And we had,
towed the net.
we had a moving net, and, yeah, it was really, it worked out really
We
great.
didn't hit anybody in the,
Oh, we hit a few people, but it was okay.
It's all for the fun.
It's a wiffle ball.
But appreciate the staff that worked that event or came and participated with us. Noted our August board meeting date on the 27th. We have a special event this weekend, Friday and Saturday, Chalkett and Seaside. So really excited about that. And then there's some yoga workshops coming up. I put the flyer in the packet, but some good stuff, including one workshop this Saturday and another one at the end of August. It's a busy time, so that's it for me.
Shock it.
Yes.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So I have one question. The August 20th, 21st, and the 2nd is October, are we supposed to go to one of those?
Yeah, so those are, kind of a rotating or a moving training. So, yeah, Eileen will be in Astoria on the 20th and then in Salem on the 21st. So you would want to, if you want to go, you would choose one of those that might work. Obviously, Astoria's closer, but, and then the George Dunkel one is different. So you may want to attend that one also.
How long is the training?
I think they're usually scheduled like 9 to like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I can double check.
They
the
provide
times.
lunch.
Yeah.
I went last year.
Yeah.
George
But the
Dunkel.
online one you were talking about counts for our annual.
It does, and you are also doing the board practices assessment in October, so there will be some duplication, but yeah, I never want to miss an opportunity to help you
So the,
feel more equipped.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
ORPA conference in Sun River. You know, I went to the one in Portland last fall, and it was really good. I really thought there were some really, really interesting programs. So I think I'm intrigued. Commitment, but let me do it.
Yeah, keep it posted.
What is the PED mean?
The what? The what?
Oregon.
Oregon Recreation and Park
Recreation and Park
Association.
Association.
That conference is a little special just because that's when I'll be terming off as president. So it's been a blur of 9 months so far.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Already? You just started.
I started in November.
Yeah,
No.
I was there.
Conference to conference.
I was
But I mean,
there.
I'll
Swearing in.
still have a year left on the board as
Yeah.
the immediate past president, and then I'm
Wow.
still going to support the organization, but I'll be done with that duty.
What about the National Parks Association?
That conference is in Atlanta.
No, but are you participating at the national level as well?
I am, I'm on a couple of like smaller subcommittee groups, but not as a board member or anything like that.
Good. I think that National Association is valuable.
It is, yeah.
You had something to do.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody done? Board comment? Moving on? Yes?
Just me.
Holy cow, we've got it.
No.
We're shooting. Okay, Kyle, go.
Me?
Board comment.
I would like to thank Celeste. This is really a nice piece of work, and you put a lot of time and effort into this, all for the benefit of the board decision making. So thank you, Celeste. I really appreciate that.
Amen.
Carolyn, I don't know if everyone heard. Carolyn is just awesome, but she's sending 5 of her swimmers to zones this year, which is really, really remarkable. So congratulations to Carolyn, and of course she's always doing her best with teaching kids swimming. Skylar, you have a lot of balls in the air right now, and I just want to let you know I really appreciate all that you're doing, and not just the tasks, but the complex, difficult things, and I just appreciate you what you're doing for the district. Finally, just something in my head, especially when we look at these 4 objectives, but something in my head is screening branding. I think a long-term, I mean, maybe not long-term, medium-term, before we open the SRC, I think we need to think about branding and how we're gonna brand that building. That's all I have.
Okay, Sue, go.
I wanna say a high five, shout out to Carolyn. I've kept up with her when I'm, watching her work with the young ones and I just think her skills are exemplary. I love the fact that we've got 5, I think that's, a duplication, of excellence, that 5 kids are going to zone, so I'm just so grateful that she's here. And my favorite moment was her working with me to show me how swimmers should disqualify, so she had to do the strokes wrong. And it was so fun to watch her, okay, am I disqualified? Anyway, that was fun to see.
It's usually at the wall where you just.
Oh, yeah, but it was fun to have her do each stroke wrong and all, but anyway, that's just me, and I'm grateful that we found her and continue to have her. I am grateful for, I continue to say, every complaint is a gift. I'm a little, taken aback by the fact that a citizen gave us something without signing a name, because in the past we've not always accepted that. So I think there's, respectfully, there are inaccuracies and, things that are confusing and don't make sense to me. So all I can say is, Skylar's wage was adjusted almost a year ago to the state, and it's kind of interesting to have it come up now. So I'm grateful for attention, but please come to our meetings. That's what we're here for. And we are transparent. We are open to people coming in with opinions, and please come and please stay, because each complaint is a gift that helps us do better. I am excited about the proposals with our representative and senators to go forward for our recognition, and I'm trying to be quick about this. So basically, thank you, Skylar and the team. I want to thank Levi for his service, because I know that what he did was amazing, and I am very grateful that he's got Courtney well-trained, and, Courtney is an amazing individual in his own right, and I'm glad he's here. And I simply want to remind people, as I am not around, somebody circulated a rumor that I was leaving the district, and I don't quite understand that, but that's not true. It's just my sister continues to be gravely ill, and in fact, as soon as this meeting's over, I'll go home, pack, and leave. And I am not in the water at all. I'm not in any function. The only thing I come back for is this, because there's no computer and no phone service that is reliable in Philida. And I tell Darren, come and check it out, because it's amazing that you can't be on the phone and reach me in Philida, Washington. So I come back for this meeting. So anyway, I'm grateful for this team effort that we work. My goodness, Celeste, the things you produce are incredible to me. And Kyle, I mean, I'm just so grateful, Mike, with his history, and Catherine, our connections are just, to this community, making this a hub that is, I just think we have such amazing potential, and not to forget to play in Seaside. And I thank everybody.
Thanks, Sue. Celeste?
For making the trip.
Yeah.
Just to check the email.
Well, the first thing is, I totally agree with you. It's like, when I look at how fantastic this team is, and how much your staff, Skylar, and how much you are producing, it just makes me realize, not only do we need branding for the building, which will hopefully have occupancy soon, but also just for all the things we're doing, how do we make sure folks know about it? So it has me think with my communication hat on, so I agree with you. But again, kudos. I think we're just in a really fantastic space slides and then.
The round meeting, I spoke.
Give it
Next,
time.
It's probably attracted to.
But I just think, I think the level of stuff that we're moving through compared to where we were, 5 years ago, the level of things moving through this organization and through this board and the pace that we're handling things, I think is just really cool to see. So excited about that, and I'm excited about the goals, and I'm really pleased that you're embracing those, Skylar, because I think it sets us up, and I think we're gonna have a strategic plan for you well, and I think we're just setting up this, the district to really serve its residents really well, so excited about that. The other thing I wanted to mention is I did have a chance to meet with Darren regarding grants. It was a really great meeting, just want to let the board know about that. And part of what we talked about is how do we package some of our grant requests, for instance, some of the occupancy stuff, because we have money going out, and that was sort of gave me a bit of an alert last time, that we have money going out to pay for things so that we can get occupancy to do things in the SRC. And I think we can actually package some of those as grant requests so that we can do the things. So it's a little more sparkly to say, in order to expand our child care options, in order to expand our youth services, we've already met 80%, 90% of what we need to do. We've got the building, we've done all these things, and we just need the other 10% of the funding to get us over the finish line, to get a new heating system, or to do whatever, and to package like that. So we had a really good discussion about that. And I think the other thing that we had a discussion about is to come up with formulas to make sure that when we're going out for grants, that we're not covering just the cost of the thing. And that we're covering staff time, that we're covering supervision time, all the overhead time. We need to cover and build those in as formulas into the grant. So share some tools with Darren. So I'm excited about where that can be, but the potential that's there for some of our, I think we have a growing edge that we have, that we can do a lot more with.
Thanks, Les.
Well said.
Mike?
Well, I can't add too much more to that. It was good and bad to see Levi go. I was glad I got together with the staff last Friday and Thursday, and joined in that appreciation of Levi. He has been a very talented member of our team, and we'll have to see, who comes next. But I'm pleased to see the Broadway field work, come together. It's been a major headache to deal with, and I'm glad that's working out well. I think discussing the fees is important. And like I mentioned earlier, I was at a county meeting, and I discovered that one of our commissioners, Pamela Webb, did not know that we had a pool in Seaside, and we were talking about redoing the county master plan for parks, updating it. And then, we're a regional partner of, big player in recreation, and people in the county need to know about our services. The impact of tourism and visitors weighs heavily on county parks, and it weighs on us. I think it's important to treat our visitors cordially, but we have a price to pay, for what we offer and for that cordiality. So I think it's good that we look at that. I've been looking at the strategic plan, and it's I think the architectural, some of the design elements are perhaps a little bit overly ambitious, perhaps, and maybe not realistic, but I'll share those comments and put them in writing and get them to Skylar. Anyway, I want to thank everybody on this board. I'm very proud to serve with everyone here. Hope we'll see what happens next year. I may retire from the board, as I've been talking about. There's that fly I want to go look at.
See, it's gonna go to Catherine next.
That would be a sad day for the board, Mike, if he decided to retire.
He's got a headache now.
Did you hear
That's
what
all I
Kyle
said.
said?
I said it would be a sad day for the district if you decide not to run again.
Well, I have, succession planning is important. And this is, the Park District's very important, and, I don't want to compare myself to, our president, but I'll do what needs to be done that serves the best interest of the district. But I have talked to, other community members about running for my position, and, I talked to Bill Montero, and I started talking to him a year ago. But we'll see what happens, and I'll be talking to Bill, and want to make sure that we have good people running for the district. But my hearing makes it challenging. A lot of what I hear in here is really kind of an echo. But your meeting in this small room is very helpful compared to when during COVID, being in the big room. But I'm still here, and we'll try to carry on. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I'm just gonna say congratulations to Carolyn, a very well-deserved Employee of the Month, and wishing Levi the best in his new endeavors, and thank him for everything he's done. Looking at all the things on our list that we accomplish every month, I'm just very excited about the future for our district. I think we're in a pretty good spot, and the future's looking pretty bright, and I'm very thankful to be here with you all. So, with that, meeting adjourned.